Well, we're now into the middle parts of August, and you have to expect that the Atlantic tropics are going to heat up, and indeed they have. We have the fourth tropical depression of the Atlantic season having formed this morning. With all the details on this and the rest of the tropics, here's John Hope.
Yes, we do have a new tropical depression that is bearing down on the Caribbean islands, so we're a little bit concerned about this one. Let me go ahead and show you the latest particulars. This is the very first advisory at 11 o'clock this morning at Atlantic Standard Time, centered 12.3, 45.0. That was 975 miles east of the Windward Islands, moving pretty rapidly for a system in the deep tropics, about 23 miles per hour. Now, the forecast looks like it's going to be more or less toward the west all the way through Saturday morning, and this is our forecast swath. Bear in mind that it certainly could take the northern part of that or the southern part either. So somewhere in the Windward or Leeward Islands, and we're talking about Saturday morning, so during the night, Friday night, might be when this makes landfall. It could do it that early. Now, all we have to go on so far out there to assess the strength is the satellite pictures. It's too far out for reconnaissance aircraft. It'll be tomorrow evening, about 5 o'clock Atlantic Standard Time, before the first recon is scheduled to be in this system. At that time, we'll know a little bit more about it. But evaluating it this afternoon, we don't see a lot of change. We think it's still a tropical depression, not a tropical storm, but certainly it could become one during the next 24 hours. So what we are urging is that all the people around the Lesser Antilles pay quite close attention to this and see how it moves and how it develops. Here's the infrared picture. Again, the center circulation kind of down here in the southwest part of all that cloud mass. That suggests that it's not all that well organized, but it may be getting a little bit better so as time goes by. Still a depression, though, I think. Now, as far as the rest of the tropics is concerned, this, of course, is our depression, and we have a fairly vigorous wave has just come off the coast of Africa. And getting back this way a little bit, the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean both looking real good today. Caribbean tropical wave that was through the windwards yesterday, all this has gotten stretched out and is up over the North Atlantic right now, not really bothering anybody. Caribbean, the rest of the Caribbean looking very nice. And off the coast of Mexico, some disturbed weather, but nothing in the Pacific side that appears to be developing. And finally, we have Parbuk here in the Pacific, which is a tropical storm forecast to be a typhoon, but to move out over open water and not bother anybody. That's it for this time. Now back to Jeff.
All right, thank you, John. Our hurricane...
Still to come, we're going to be updating you on some radars showing you where the strong thunderstorms are this afternoon. But first, let's see what's happening in the tropics. And here's our hurricane expert, John Hope.
Well, thank you, Janetta. And our main concern, of course, is the new tropical depression that we have out east of the Windward and Leeward Islands. It was just classified as one this morning. And here are the latest particulars on it. We'll have a new advisory in about an hour or so, 11 a.m. Atlantic Standard Time, centered 12.3, 45.0. And that was 975 miles east of the Windward Islands. Storm is depression's there, so it has ways to go, but I would point out to you that it has been moving pretty rapidly, faster than most tropical systems move, about 23 miles an hour. And if it continues anywhere near that rate, it'll be in a position to threaten the island some, certainly in about 2 days. Now, we think there's a good chance that this will increase to a tropical storm. We think it very likely will do that tomorrow. And it's a little bit too early to say whether it might be a hurricane before it gets to the Caribbean, but that is a possibility. So we would urge everybody in the area to watch this very carefully. Now, here's our forecast track. You might want to see if this shifts as we get new advisories in, but it could be along the northern periphery or the southern periphery or somewhere in between. It looks like it'd be very difficult for it to miss all the islands. So whether it's in the southernmost islands or the northernmost, we'll just have to wait and see. Right now, we urge everybody to be on the alert and see how this moves and how it develops. Now, it's getting dark on this picture. This is our latest visible satellite picture. We can't really see much of any change in this during the day. I have the impression that it has not picked up any strength. In fact, the cloud tops have been warming a little bit, but sometimes that's a diurnal variation. Doesn't have anything to do with whether or not it's increasing or decreasing. Now, looking at farther out in the Atlantic, this is our depression, and we have a pretty strong tropical wave just came off Africa. we'll have a lot of time to watch that before we need to worry about it. Now, in the Caribbean and the Gulf looks about as clear as it could possibly look. And the Caribbean pretty well cleared out today. The tropical wave that came through the islands yesterday, most of that activity has shifted up hundreds of miles to the north out over the open Atlantic. Nothing there that's going to be threatening at all. And even though we see some pretty active weather off the west coast of Mexico, nothing appears to be developing there. And finally, out in the West Pacific, we have a tropical storm, which is forecast to be a typhoon, but that's supposed to move out over the open Pacific and not bother any land areas at all. So that'll do it this time for the tropics. Now back to Janetta Jones.